darling Tela. We are in the North Atlantic Ocean right now, and we are sailing from Bermuda to San Miguel, and we thought it would be really cool to bring you guys along with us during an entire night of night watches between myself and my husband Sean. So we're gonna bring you guys along with us vlog style throughout our evening of night watches, but first up, Sean is gonna give you guys the breakdown, the lowdown of exactly what night watches are even all about.
Alright, so let's talk about night watch and what that looks like on Tela. So we do 4-hour rotating shifts starting after dinner going through sunrise. We take turns back and forth. So some of y'all that are not sailors or boat people may wonder, what is night watch and why do we even do night watch? The purpose of night watch, we're looking out for 4 main things. First thing we're looking out for is wind and weather. Second thing we're looking out for is the boat, its systems, and the sails. The third thing we're looking out for is navigation. And the fourth thing we're looking out for is any potential collision or any hazards that need to be avoided. So let's jump right in and talk about the first thing. So the first thing on night watch that we're keeping a vigilant eye on is the wind and weather. And this is super important on a sailboat, because when you're out here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the wind can go from being 15 miles an hour, can jump up to 25, 30 miles an hour, just like that. And when you got your sails out, you need to be prepared to reef in some sails if you're not already reefed, because the boat can get overpowered and could potentially get out of control. Something you definitely don't want. Along with that is the weather. You're keeping an eye out for the weather, any rain, thunderstorms, any squalls that are coming through, for the same reasons of to make sure that your sail configuration and your sail plan is properly reefed for the weather. Second thing that we keep a lookout for on night watch is the boat, its systems, and the sails. Now when we're on night watch, we're keeping a general eye out on the boat and all of the systems. We're making sure that the boat is sailing properly, that it's properly configured, and that all the systems and all the instruments and gauges and autopilot and everything's operating normally. The third thing on the list that we're keeping an eye out for on night watch is navigation. Now most of the time, I'll be honest with you, on night watch we're using the autopilot most of the time. So navigation is very important, because you want to be monitoring everything on the navigation system to make sure that the boat and the autopilot are maintaining the proper course. Because if everybody on the boat was asleep and you woke up the next morning, the boat might be going the wrong way because the autopilot kicked off, and you sure don't want that out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So you definitely want to keep an eye on the navigation, make sure your boat is maintaining proper course. Now the last but not least, and certainly very important on the list, a reason that we keep watch all night long here on Tela is for collision and hazard avoidance. Collision avoidance is any other vessel out there that you may potentially collide with. Not very likely, because a big, wide open Atlantic Ocean is a pretty doggone big place. However, there's always that chance that you never know. And what you never know could potentially hurt you. You want to keep an eye out for any vessels not showing up on AIS. They may be running dark or something like that. You don't want to hit another boat out in the middle of the ocean. Along with collision avoidance, hazard avoidance, especially if you're along the coastline. Now, it doesn't apply out here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, but along the coastline, you need to be aware of reefs and rocks. Very dangerous. Now, I guarantee you, y'all don't want to run your boat up on any rocks or reefs. That would be ding, boo, how. Now, if y'all don't know what ding, boo, how is, that's country slang for no good. So those are the reasons that you keep a vigilant watch, and that is the reason that we do night watch all night here on Tela, y'all.
Y'all, night shift has officially started. It's around 8 o'clock. I've got my little best gal here. Delilah girl is my absolute shadow day and night. So when I'm up here doing my watch, she is right by my side, right with me. when it's my turn to go down and go get some sleep, she comes down, she's right by my side. I usually sleep on one of the couches in the salon and she sleeps under the table right by my side. Anyway, night shift has started. We had some soup for dinner tonight. It really hit the spot. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we are wearing our Musto cold weather, foul weather gear, and that is because it's actually really pretty chilly. I know it's like mid-late June here right now, but it's actually pretty freaking chilly out in the Atlantic. So we've got our bibs on, jackets on. Luckily it's not raining right now or anything, but we have encountered some of that. Night watches are not as fun when we've got tons of water coming in here, but luckily we do have this Dodger that protects us a good bit. One of my favorite things about our sailing experiences is when we are out at sea, we always eat up top and we get to experience incredible sunsets like nearly every single day. The only time we really wouldn't get to experience one is if the visibility is not good. Maybe it's like rainy or super cloudy covering up the sun. It's like my favorite thing. The sunset was just, oh, it was so gorgeous. I'll show you. I do a couple of different things. I, of course, make sure that I know what's going on with the sails. I'm watching our instruments up here. I turned our light on that we turn on when we are sailing at night. Before I came up here, I think I'm gonna try to practice some knots or maybe even learn some new knots. I find it to be fun and it really helps pass the time. This book is where I get all of the knots from. It's called The Complete Rigger's Apprentice. And just like that, hour one is done. Our true wind speed is currently around 20 knots. Our boat speed is actually hovering in between like 5.7 and 6 knots, so that's phenomenal. I've decided that I would like some tea, so come with me down below to make some tea for this night watch. And your lid is very important on passage. There she is. Something about sipping my hot tea and looking at these absolutely, literally, indescribably gorgeous stars above. It's magical. Check out these stars.
Lullabies, I've used my time.
right, I've been on watch for just over 2 hours. The sail started luffing a little bit consistently. It appears that the wind had started to shift a little bit. So on our autopilot, I just did 3 clicks to the left, waited a few minutes, turned the light on and watched the sails. The luffing stopped and we're all good. On Sean's watch, if he decides that he wants to tack before I go to bed and the switch over is complete, I may have to help him switch the sails over because this is definitely a 2-person job. We may tack and go back, and if so, I will be up here to help him do that before I go to bed. But I still have a couple hours here. We're doing good. We're just cruising on along. I'm not sleepy, but like minty gum really wakes me up. So I'm about to have a piece of gum. My little trick for being even more alert out here. It works. I already feel more awake with my minty gum. I love gum. Alright, y'all, it is about 30 minutes until Sean gets up. We've gone about, in these 4 hours that I've been up here, about 20 nautical miles. It's been a really great night shift. No rain, so thankful for that.
Good morning, baby doll. Shift change.
Shift change.
How's our wind speed and boat speed been averaging?
Boat speed for a good while was around 5.5 to 6 knots, but the wind speed slowed down from the 17 to 20 knots that we were getting to like 14, 15, 16. And then our boat speed at that point slowed down to about 4.5 knots.
All right, that's all very good. That's all well received, and I'll take over from here. So you are relieved, and you can go get some much needed and deserved rest and sleep, babe. All right, y'all, so just checking in here on my night watch. All has been going well. It's been a pretty uneventful evening. We've got about 19 knots of wind speed. We've got a true wind angle of about 140. Our apparent wind angle is about 120, and we're averaging a solid 5.5 knots on a broad reach. So we're moving right along. We are currently 502 miles off the coast of San Miguel in the Azores. So we are getting there. Feels like we've been out here for days and days at sea, and it feels like we're finally getting down to the point where we can begin to see the finish line. We know that it's over the horizon, and we will get there. I've even had the opportunity on my watch to have my very early morning chocolate milk, so all is good here aboard Tela, y'all. Checking back in with y'all here on this fabulous early morning shift. You know, Bernard Montessier once said, the sun rises, peaks, and sets, and one day gracefully makes way for another. Well, y'all, there is an amazing graceful new day dawning out there on the horizon, and this is one of my favorite times during a night watch, is the early morning shift when the sun begins to peek over the horizon, and the colors and the sky and the clouds and the sea all start just meshing together to make this beautiful masterpiece of a picture every morning, and every morning's different. And it's just amazing to me, and sometimes I like to just go out, the sea stays relatively calm, and sit on the deck and just watch in silence at the amazing nature's art show that unfolds every single morning out here. It's amazing stuff. So I want to share that with y'all. So come on along with me. Go check this stuff out. It's pretty cool. Well, the sun is up and it's a spectacular new dawn and a fabulous new day as we continue underway crossing the North Atlantic Ocean. Hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with us on our night watch. Thanks for coming along. And remember, we post 2 videos every week. So y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch y'all next time on Sailing Tela.